The crowd roared as Jake Thompson, the star quarterback of the New York Knights, threw a perfect spiral into the end zone. The receiver caught the ball effortlessly, securing yet another touchdown for the team. Jake raised his arms in triumph, his charismatic smile flashing across the stadium's giant screens. Fans chanted his name, Jake, 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 as he jogged back to the sidelines, high-fiving his teammates. Jake was at the peak of his career. His talent on the field was undeniable, and off the field, he was known for his charm and playful nature. He loved the limelight, basking in the adoration of his fans and the media. As he sat on the bench, catching his breath, he spotted Emily Carter in the press box. Emily was a journalist who had been covering the Knights for the past year. She was known for her insightful articles and unwavering professionalism. Emily was different from the other journalists Jake had encountered. She was confident, kind-hearted, and passionate about her work. Despite being underestimated by some because of her weight, Emily never let it affect her. She carried herself with dignity and grace, earning the respect of her colleagues and the players she covered. Jake watched as Emily scribbled notes in her notepad, her focus entirely on the game. An idea began to form in his mind, fueled by the banter and playful arrogance that often characterized his interactions with his teammates. During a break in the game, he turned to his closest friend on the team, Derek. "Hey Derek, I've got an idea," Jake said with a mischievous grin. "How about a little bet?" Derek raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What kind of bet?" Jake glanced back at the press box. "You see Emily over there? The journalist? I bet I can pull off a prank on her." Derek chuckled, shaking his head. "Come on, Jake. She's a professional. Why would you want to mess with her?" Jake shrugged, still grinning. "Just for fun. Besides, it'll be harmless. I'll invite her to a fake exclusive interview. She'll never see it coming." Derek hesitated but eventually nodded. "All right, you're on. But don't go too far, Jake. She's a good person." Jake waved off Derek's concern. "Don't worry, it'll be fine." The game ended with another victory for the Knights, and the team celebrated in the locker room. Jake, however, was already planning his prank. He sent a message to Emily, inviting her to an exclusive interview at a high-end restaurant in the city. He made sure the message sounded official, using the team's letterhead and signing it with the coach's name. Emily received the message the next morning and was thrilled. An exclusive interview with Jake Thompson was a big deal, and she immediately began preparing her questions. She arrived at the restaurant early, dressed in a professional yet stylish outfit, her excitement palpable. Jake and his teammates were already there, hiding in a private room with a clear view of the main dining area. They watched as Emily entered, her eyes scanning the room for Jake. She approached the hostess, who, following Jake's instructions, led her to a table and handed her a menu. Emily sat down, her notepad and pen ready. She waited patiently, her excitement slowly turning to confusion as the minutes ticked by. After half an hour, she realized something was wrong. She approached the hostess again, who awkwardly explained that there had been a mistake and that no interview had been scheduled. Emily felt a wave of embarrassment wash over her. She could hear the faint sound of laughter coming from a nearby room, and it didn't take long for her to piece it together. She had been pranked. With as much dignity as she could muster, she thanked the hostess and left the restaurant, her head held high despite the humiliation. Back in the private room, Jake and his teammates were laughing, but Jake's laughter was tinged with guilt. He had seen the look on Emily's face as she left, and it didn't sit well with him. He had expected her to be angry or upset, but she had maintained her composure, walking out with her head held high. It was a reaction he hadn't anticipated, and it left him feeling uneasy. The next day, Emily was back at the stadium, covering the team's practice session. She carried herself with the same professionalism and confidence as always, showing no signs of being affected by the prank. Jake watched her from a distance, his guilt growing with each passing moment. After practice, Jake approached Emily, hoping to apologize. She was sitting in the press box, typing away on her laptop. He hesitated for a moment before clearing his throat. "Hey, Emily," he said, trying to sound casual. Emily looked up, her expression neutral. "Jake, What can I do for you? Jake shifted uncomfortably. I wanted to apologize for yesterday. The prank. It was out of line. Emily studied him for a moment before nodding. Thank you for the apology, Jake, but I have work to do. Jake felt a pang of disappointment at her curt response. He had hoped for a chance to make things right, but it was clear that Emily wasn't interested in talking to him. He watched as she returned to her work, her focus unwavering. Over the next few days, Jake couldn't shake the feeling of guilt. He found himself watching Emily more closely, noticing things he hadn't before. She was always professional, always prepared, and always kind to those around her. Despite the prank, she continued to cover the team with the same dedication and integrity. Jake's teammates noticed the change in him. He was quieter, more introspective, and less focused on the usual banter and jokes. Derek, who had known Jake for years, decided to confront him. Hey man, what's going on with you? Derek asked one evening after practice. You've been acting weird since the prank. Jake sighed, running a hand through his hair. I don't know, Derek. I feel terrible about what happened with Emily. She didn't deserve that. Derek nodded. Yeah, she didn't. But you apologized, right? What more can you do? Jake shook his head. It's not enough. I need to make it right. I don't know how, but I need to. Derek clapped him on the shoulder. Well, figure it out, man. She's a good person. Maybe you should try getting to know her better. Jake took Derek's advice to heart. He started looking for opportunities to interact with Emily, hoping to show her that he was genuinely sorry. He offered to help her with her work, brought her coffee during practice sessions, and made an effort to be kind and respectful. Emily, however, was wary. She appreciated Jake's attempts to make amends, but she wasn't ready to let her guard down. She had been hurt before, and she wasn't willing to risk it again. Despite her reservations, Emily couldn't help but notice the changes in Jake. He was more thoughtful, more considerate, and more genuine in his interactions with her. She began to see a different side of him, one that was far removed from the arrogant football star she had initially known. One evening, after a particularly long day, Emily found herself sitting alone in the press box, staring out at the empty stadium. She was lost in thought when she heard footsteps approaching. She turned to see Jake standing there, holding 2 cups of coffee. Mind if I join you? He asked, offering her one of the cups. Emily hesitated for a moment before nodding. Sure. Jake sat down beside her, handing her the coffee. They sat in silence for a while, sipping their drinks and watching the sunset over the stadium. I know I've been a jerk, Jake said finally, breaking the silence. I'm really sorry, Emily. I've been trying to make things right, but I know it's going to take time. Emily looked at him, her expression softening. I appreciate your efforts, Jake, but it's not just about the prank. It's about trust. I need to know that I can trust you. Jake nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. I get that, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to earn your trust. They sat in silence for a while longer, the tension between them slowly easing. For the first time, Emily felt a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, Jake was sincere in his efforts to change. Over the next few weeks, Jake continued his efforts to make amends. He showed up early to practice, offering to help Emily set up her equipment. He brought her coffee every morning, always remembering how she liked it, black with a hint of sugar. He even started reading her articles, complimenting her on her insightful analysis and thoughtful commentary. Emily remained cautious, but she couldn't deny that Jake was making a genuine effort. She watched as he interacted with his teammates, noticing the subtle changes in his behavior. He was more considerate, more respectful, and less focused on his own ego. It was clear that the prank had been a wake-up call for him, and he was determined to prove that he was more than just an arrogant football star. One afternoon, after a particularly grueling practice session, Jake approached Emily with a shy smile. Hey, Emily, I was wondering if you'd like to grab dinner sometime. Just as friends, of course. Emily hesitated, her guard still up. But she could see the sincerity in Jake's eyes, and she decided to give him a chance. All right, Jake. Dinner sounds nice. They agreed to meet at a small, cozy restaurant in the city. When Emily arrived, She was pleasantly surprised to find Jake already there, waiting for her with a bouquet of flowers. He handed them to her with a sheepish grin. "I thought you might like these." Emily smiled, touched by the gesture. "Thank you, Jake. They're beautiful." They were seated at a quiet table in the corner, and as they perused the menu, Jake made an effort to keep the conversation light and friendly. They talked about their favorite foods, their hobbies, and their families. Emily found herself relaxing in Jake's company, enjoying the easy banter and genuine laughter. As the evening progressed, Jake opened up about his life, sharing stories about his childhood and his journey to becoming a professional football player. Emily listened intently, appreciating his honesty and vulnerability. She shared her own stories, talking about her passion for journalism and the challenges she had faced along the way. By the time they finished their meal, Emily felt a newfound sense of connection with Jake. He had shown her a side of himself that she hadn't seen before, and she found herself wanting to know more. As they walked out of the restaurant, Jake turned to her with a hopeful smile. "I had a great time tonight, Emily. Can we do this again sometime?" Emily nodded, her heart warming to him. "I'd like that, Jake. I'd like that a lot." From that night on, Jake and Emily began spending more time together. They met for coffee, went for walks in the park, and even attended a few football games together. Their friendship grew stronger with each passing day, and Emily found herself slowly letting her guard down. Jake, for his part, continued to show his genuine affection and respect for Emily. He admired her strength, her intelligence, and her unwavering dedication to her work. He found himself falling for her, not just as a friend, but as someone he deeply cared about. One evening, as they sat on a bench overlooking the city skyline, Jake turned to Emily with a serious expression. "Emily, I need to tell you something." Emily looked at him, her heart pounding. "What is it, Jake?" Jake took a deep breath, his eyes locking onto hers. "I know we started off on the wrong foot, and I know I've hurt you, but I want you to know that I've changed. You've shown me what it means to be a better person, and I can't thank you enough for that. I think I'm falling in love with you, Emily." Emily's eyes widened in surprise, her heart racing. She had suspected that Jake had feelings for her, but hearing him say it out loud was overwhelming. She took a moment to gather her thoughts before responding. "Jake, I appreciate your honesty, and I have to admit, I've grown to care about you too, but this is a lot to process. I need some time to think about it." Jake nodded, understanding her need for space. "Take all the time you need, Emily. I'll be here waiting." In the days that followed, Emily found herself thinking about Jake constantly. She replayed their conversations in her mind, remembering the way he had opened up to her and shown her his true self. She couldn't deny the feelings she had developed for him, but she was also wary of getting hurt again. One afternoon, as she sat in her office, Emily received a text message from Jake. It was a simple message, but it spoke volumes. "Thinking of you. Hope you're having a good day." Emily smiled, her heart warming at the thought of Jake. She decided to take a chance and texted him back. "Thank you, Jake. I hope you're having a good day too." That evening, Jake showed up at Emily's apartment with a bouquet of peonies, her favorite flowers. He handed them to her with a hopeful smile. "I thought you might like these." Emily's heart melted at the sight of the flowers. She invited Jake in, and they spent the evening talking and laughing, their connection growing stronger with each passing moment. As the weeks went by, Emily and Jake's relationship continued to blossom. They shared their hopes and dreams, their fears and insecurities, and their love for each other grew deeper. Emily found herself falling for Jake, not just as a friend, but as the man she wanted to spend her life with. One evening, as they sat on the couch, Jake turned to Emily with a serious expression. "Emily, there's something I need to ask you." Emily looked at him, her heart pounding. "What is it, Jake?" Jake took a deep breath, his eyes locking onto hers. "Emily, will you marry me?" Emily's eyes widened in surprise, her heart racing. She had suspected that Jake might propose, but hearing him say it out loud was overwhelming. She took a moment to gather her thoughts before responding. "Jake, I love you, and yes, I will marry you." Jake's face lit up with joy as he slipped the ring onto Emily's finger. They embraced, their hearts full of love and hope for the future. As they planned their wedding, Jake and Emily couldn't help but reflect on how far they had come. They had started as adversaries, brought together by a prank that had initially caused pain and embarrassment. But through their journey, they had grown to understand and appreciate each other, building a relationship based on trust, respect, and love. Their wedding day was a beautiful and intimate celebration, surrounded by their closest friends and family. As they exchanged vows, Jake and Emily promised to love and support each other, no matter what challenges they faced. As they danced under the stars, Emily rested her head on Jake's chest, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. She whispered softly, "Who would have thought it all started with a prank?" Jake smiled, holding her close. "Who would have thought it'd be the best thing that ever happened to us?" With a future full of love, redemption, and hope, Jake and Emily were ready to face the next chapter of their lives together. In the months following their wedding, Jake and Emily settled into their new life together. They moved into a cozy apartment in the city, where they could both pursue their careers while building their life as a married couple. Jake continued to play for the New York Knights, while Emily's journalism career flourished. She was now a respected voice in sports journalism, known for her insightful and thoughtful articles. Their relationship grew stronger with each passing day. They supported each other through the highs and lows, always finding time to connect and nurture their bond. Jake's teammates noticed the positive change in him. He was more focused, more disciplined, and more considerate. It was clear that Emily's influence had made him a better person, both on and off the field. One evening, as they sat on their balcony overlooking the city, Jake turned to Emily with a thoughtful expression. "You know, I've been thinking a lot about how we met and everything we've been through. I can't believe how much my life has changed because of you." Emily smiled, squeezing his hand. "You've changed my life too, Jake. I never imagined that a prank would lead to all of this." Jake chuckled, shaking his head. "It's funny how life works sometimes. I'm just glad we found each other." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, enjoying the view and each other's company. Emily rested her head on Jake's shoulder, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. She had never been happier. As the weeks turned into months, Jake and Emily faced new challenges together. Jake's football career was demanding, with long hours of practice and travel. Emily's journalism career also required her to be on the go, covering games and events. Despite their busy schedules, they always made time for each other, ensuring that their relationship remained a priority. One day, Emily received an exciting opportunity. She was offered a position as the lead sports journalist for a major national publication. It was a dream job, but it would require her to travel more frequently and spend extended periods away from home. She was thrilled by the opportunity, but also worried about how it would impact her relationship with Jake. That evening, she sat down with Jake to discuss the offer. "Jake, I got an amazing job offer today. It's a huge opportunity for me, but it would mean a lot more travel and time away from home." Jake listened attentively, his expression supportive. "Emily, that's incredible. I'm so proud of you, but I understand your concern. We need to figure out how to make this work." Emily nodded, grateful for his understanding. "I don't want to jeopardize what we have, Jake. Our relationship is the most important thing to me." Jake took her hand, looking into her eyes. "We'll make it work, Emily. We'll find a way to balance our careers and our relationship. I believe in us." With Jake's support, Emily accepted the job offer. They worked together to create a schedule that allowed them to stay connected, even when they were apart. They made a pact to always communicate openly and honestly, ensuring that their relationship remained strong. As Emily embarked on her new role, she found herself traveling to different cities, covering major sports events and interviewing top athletes. It was an exciting and fulfilling experience, and she quickly made a name for herself in the industry. Despite the challenges of being apart, she and Jake remained committed to each other, finding ways to stay connected through phone calls, video chats, and surprise visits. One evening, while Emily was on assignment in another city, she received a call from Jake. His voice was filled with excitement. "Emily, I have some amazing news. The Knights made it to the playoffs and were one game away from the championship. Emily's heart swelled with pride. "That's incredible, Jake. I'm so proud of you and the team. I wish I could be there to support you." Jake's voice softened. "I know, Emily, but knowing you're cheering for me, even from afar, means everything to me. I can't wait to see you when you get back." The night of the championship game was tense and exhilarating. Emily watched from her hotel room, her heart pounding with every play. Jake played with a determination and focus she had never seen before, leading the team to a stunning victory. When the final whistle blew, the Knights were crowned champions, and Jake was named the most valuable player. Emily couldn't contain her excitement. She called Jake immediately, her voice filled with joy. "Jake, you did it. I'm so proud of you." Jake's voice was filled with emotion. "We did it, Emily. I couldn't have done it without your support. I can't wait to celebrate with you." When Emily returned home, Jake greeted her with open arms. They celebrated the victory together, reflecting on how far they had come and the challenges they had overcome. Their love had grown stronger through every trial, and they were more committed to each other than ever before. As they settled back into their routine, Emily began to notice some changes in her body. She felt more tired than usual and experienced bouts of nausea in the mornings. Concerned, she decided to visit her doctor for a checkup. The doctor ran some tests and delivered the news that would change their lives forever. "Congratulations, Emily. You're pregnant." Emily was stunned, her mind racing with a mix of emotions. She couldn't wait to share the news with Jake. That evening, as they sat on the couch, she took a deep breath and turned to him. "Jake, I have some news," she began, her voice trembling with excitement. "We're going to have a baby." Jake's eyes widened in surprise, a look of pure joy spreading across his face. "Emily, that's amazing. I can't believe it. We're going to be parents." They embraced, their hearts full of love and excitement for the future. As they began to prepare for the arrival of their baby, they knew that their lives were about to change in ways they could never have imagined. Throughout Emily's pregnancy, Jake was a constant source of support and love. He attended every doctor's appointment, helped her with her work, and made sure she was comfortable and cared for. They decorated the nursery together, choosing soft colors and filling it with love and anticipation. As the due date approached, Emily and Jake grew more excited and nervous. They knew that becoming parents would be a new and challenging journey, but they were ready to face it together. Their love had carried them through so much already, and they knew it would continue to guide them through this new chapter. Finally, the day arrived. Emily went into labor, and Jake rushed her to the hospital. The hours that followed were intense and emotional, but Jake never left her side, holding her hand and offering words of encouragement. When their baby girl was born, Jake and Emily were overwhelmed with love and joy. They named her Lily, and as they held her in their arms for the first time, they knew that their lives had been forever changed. As they brought Lily home, Jake and Emily settled into their new roles as parents. They faced sleepless nights and endless diaper changes, but they also experienced moments of pure happiness and love. Watching Lily grow and develop brought them closer together, deepening their bond and strengthening their relationship. Jake continued to excel in his football career, but now his focus was on his family. He balanced his time between the field and home, always making sure to be there for Emily and Lily. Emily's journalism career also continued to thrive, but she found new joy in her role as a mother. One evening, as they sat on the couch with Lily asleep in her crib, Jake turned to Emily with a smile. "You know, I never imagined my life would turn out like this. I have everything I could ever want. A successful career, a loving wife, and a beautiful daughter." Emily smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "I feel the same way, Jake. We've been through so much, but it's all been worth it. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us." As they looked at each other, their hearts full of love and gratitude, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had faced challenges and overcome obstacles, but they had done it together, and they were ready to face whatever came next, knowing that their love would always guide them. As the months passed, Jake and Emily settled into a comfortable routine with their daughter, Lily. Their days were filled with the joys and challenges of parenthood, but they embraced every moment with love and gratitude. Jake continued to excel in his football career, and Emily's journalism career continued to flourish. Despite their busy schedules, they always made time for each other and their growing family. One day, Emily received an exciting opportunity to cover a major international sports event. It was a prestigious assignment that would take her away from home for several weeks. She was thrilled by the opportunity but also worried about leaving Jake and Lily behind. That evening, she sat down with Jake to discuss the offer. "Jake, I've been offered a chance to cover the World Cup. It's an incredible opportunity, but it means I'll be away for a while. I'm not sure how I feel about leaving you and Lily." Jake listened attentively, his expression supportive. "Emily, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. We'll manage just fine while you're away. You should definitely take this opportunity." Emily smiled, grateful for his encouragement. "Thank you, Jake. I just don't want to miss any important moments with Lily." Jake took her hand, looking into her eyes. "We'll make sure to stay connected, Emily. We'll video call every day, and I'll send you pictures and updates. You won't miss a thing." With Jake's support, Emily accepted the assignment. She spent the next few weeks preparing for the trip, making sure everything was in order at home before she left. Jake reassured her that he would take care of everything and that they would be just fine. The day of her departure arrived, and Emily kissed Jake and Lily goodbye, promising to stay in touch every day. As she boarded the plane, she felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. She knew this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but she also missed her family already. During her time covering the World Cup, Emily threw herself into her work, delivering insightful and engaging reports on the games and the athletes. She quickly became a favorite among viewers, her passion and expertise shining through in every broadcast. Despite the distance, Emily and Jake stayed connected through daily video calls. Emily loved seeing Lily's smiling face and hearing about her day. Jake kept her updated on everything, from Lily's first steps to the funny moments they shared. Their love and commitment to each other remained strong, even across the miles. One evening, after a particularly long day of reporting, Emily received a surprise video call from Jake. He was holding Lily, who was babbling excitedly. "Hi, Emily." Jake greeted her with a warm smile. "We just wanted to say goodnight and tell you how much we miss you." Emily's heart swelled with love as she watched Jake and Lily. "I miss you both so much. How's my little girl doing?" Jake laughed as Lily reached for the phone, her tiny fingers grasping at the screen. "She's doing great. She took her first steps today. I recorded it for you." Emily's eyes filled with tears of joy. "I can't believe it. Thank you so much for capturing that moment." "Jake, I can't wait to see it." They continued to talk for a while, sharing stories and updates. Emily felt a sense of comfort and connection, knowing that her family was always with her, no matter how far away she was. As the World Cup came to an end, Emily returned home to a warm welcome from Jake and Lily. They celebrated her successful assignment and the milestones she had missed. Emily was grateful to be back with her family, and she cherished every moment they spent together. One evening, as they sat on the couch, Jake turned to Emily with a thoughtful expression. "You know, Emily, I've been thinking a lot about our future. We've accomplished so much together, and I can't wait to see what else is in store for us." Emily smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "I feel the same way, Jake. We've been through so much and we've come out stronger because of it. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us and for Lily." As they looked at each other, their hearts full of love and gratitude, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had faced challenges and overcome obstacles, but they had done it together, and they were ready to face whatever came next, knowing that their love would always guide them. The years passed, and Jake and Emily continued to build their life together. They watched Lily grow and develop, celebrating every milestone and cherishing every moment. Their love for each other remained strong, and they faced each new challenge with the same determination and commitment that had brought them together in the first place. One day, as they sat on the porch of their home, watching Lily play in the yard, Jake turned to Emily with a smile. "You know, Emily, I never imagined my life would turn out like this. I have everything I could ever want. A successful career, a loving wife, and a beautiful daughter." Emily smiled, squeezing his hand. "I feel the same way, Jake. We've been through so much, but it's all been worth it. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us." As they looked at each other, their hearts full of love and gratitude, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had faced challenges and overcome obstacles, but they had done it together, and they were ready to face whatever came next, knowing that their love would always guide them. As the sun set on their perfect day, Jake and Emily embraced, feeling a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment. They had built a life filled with love, joy, and purpose, and they knew that they were truly blessed. With their hearts full of hope and anticipation, they looked forward to the future, confident that their love would continue to light their way. As the years went by, Jake and Emily continued to nurture their love and their family. They faced new challenges and celebrated new milestones, always standing by each other's side. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, and their love for each other deepened. One winter evening, as they sat by the fireplace, watching the flames dance, Jake turned to Emily with a thoughtful expression. "Emily, I've been thinking a lot about our future. We've accomplished so much together, and I can't wait to see what else is in store for us." Emily smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "I feel the same way, Jake. We've been through so much, and we've come out stronger because of it. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us and for Lily." Jake took a deep breath, his eyes reflecting the warmth of the fire. "There's something I've been wanting to talk to you about. I've been considering retiring from football. I've had a great career, but I want to spend more time with you and Lily. I don't want to miss any more moments." Emily looked at him, her eyes filled with love and understanding. "Jake, I support you in whatever decision you make. You've given so much to your career, and now it's time to focus on our family. We'll figure it out together." Jake smiled, feeling a sense of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, Emily. Your support means everything to me." With Emily's encouragement, Jake made the decision to retire at the end of the season. He announced his retirement to the team and the fans, receiving an outpouring of support and admiration. It was a bittersweet moment, but Jake knew it was the right choice for his family. As his final game approached, Jake felt a mix of emotions. He was proud of his career and the accomplishments he had achieved, but he was also excited for the next chapter of his life. He wanted to make his last game memorable, not just for himself, but for Emily and Lily. The night of the final game arrived, and the stadium was filled with fans, all eager to see Jake play one last time. Emily and Lily were in the stands, cheering him on with pride and love. Jake played with all his heart, leaving everything on the field. When the final whistle blew, the crowd erupted in applause, celebrating his incredible career. As Jake stood on the field, soaking in the moment, he looked up at the stands and saw Emily and Lily waving at him. He felt a surge of emotion, knowing that his family was his greatest achievement. He walked over to them, embracing them tightly. "Thank you for always being there for me," Jake said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I couldn't have done any of this without you." Emily smiled, tears in her eyes. "We're so proud of you, Jake. This is just the beginning of a new adventure for us." With his football career behind him, Jake focused on his family and new opportunities. He became involved in coaching and mentoring young athletes, sharing his experience and knowledge with the next generation. Emily continued to excel in her journalism career, finding new ways to inspire and inform her readers. Together, they built a life filled with love, joy, and purpose. They watched Lily grow into a confident and compassionate young woman, always encouraging her to follow her dreams. Their love for each other remained strong, and they faced each new challenge with the same determination and commitment that had brought them together in the first place. One summer evening, as they sat on their porch, watching the sunset, Jake turned to Emily with a smile. "You know, Emily, I never imagined my life would turn out like this. I have everything I could ever want: a loving wife, a beautiful daughter, and a life filled with purpose. Emily smiled, squeezing his hand. I feel the same way, Jake. We've been through so much, but it's all been worth it. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. As they looked at each other, their hearts full of love and gratitude, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had faced challenges and overcome obstacles, but they had done it together, and they were ready to face whatever came next, knowing that their love would always guide them. With the sun setting on their perfect day, Jake and Emily embraced, feeling a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment. They had built a life filled with love, joy, and purpose, and they knew that they were truly blessed. With their hearts full of hope and anticipation, they looked forward to the future, confident that their love would continue to light their way. As they sat together, watching the stars appear in the night sky, Jake whispered softly, "Emily, I love you more than words can express. Thank you for being my partner, my best friend, and the love of my life." Emily smiled, her eyes shining with love. "I love you too, Jake, forever and always." And with that, they continued to dream and plan for the future, knowing that their love would carry them through whatever came their way. They were a team, bound by love and commitment, ready to face the world together. As the years went by, Jake and Emily continued to build their life together, always finding new ways to grow and strengthen their bond. They faced each new challenge with courage and determination, always supporting each other and their family. Their love remained strong, a guiding light that carried them through the ups and downs of life. And as they looked back on their journey, they knew that they had been truly blessed. They had found each other, built a life filled with love and purpose, and created a legacy that would last for generations. Their story was one of love, redemption, and hope, a testament to the power of love and the strength of the human spirit. With their hearts full of gratitude and their eyes set on the future, Jake and Emily embraced the journey ahead, confident that their love would continue to light their way. And as they walked hand in hand into the next chapter of their lives, they knew that they were ready for whatever came next together.